Well, hey there, how you doing? Dave Fennoy here. It's another Wednesday, and of course that means another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything, 6 p.m. Pacific, Facebook Live, and it's 6 p.m. on the dot. I just got off of a Zoom meeting with one of my dear friends, Rolonda Watts. A lot of you who have a little age on you remember her TV show called Rolanda. We've been friends for a long time. We met when we were both voice actors being represented by Sutton Barth and Venari here in Los Angeles. And she was trying to get into voiceover, and she asked me some questions, and I helped her out, and she has taken it and just run with it. And there she is. And let's see. Nope, nope, nope. And there she is, and I'm making you. Yeah, you are number one there. And you know what? Let me just bring her on because I think we're going to want to talk to you a lot here. Rolonda Watts, what's going on, baby? How you doing?
Am I freezing up there?
Oh, you just had a little freeze, but you mentioned you're in a hotel room in D.C. and the internet ain't what it might be. But we're going to get through this anyway. And I want to say thank you for inviting me to speak with your class, many of whom I think there was a misunderstanding. I think you gave them the link to get in on as a guest.
Oh,
They've been ringing through and ringing through all they really need. And there's another one right there.
well, at least you know they're coming.
At least
They're coming.
they're coming. They're coming.
That's me. I'm sorry. They'll
But
find
yeah. There's Manny and there. Well, how come he's not taking us in? Well, you just have to go to Facebook. Anyway, let me just say this to the audience now. This woman is a Renaissance woman. She is a force of nature, and this is really somebody that you should ask your questions to, because if anybody knows how to make it in this business, well, I'll let you tell your story. Where did you start, and how did you get here?
Oh my goodness. Dave Fennoy, first of all, and I have to just be totally transparent. I adore Dave Fennoy. Dave Fennoy is one of my dearest friends, and quite honestly, one of my major mentors in voice acting. I can remember when we had the same agency, Sutton Barth and Venari, and we back in the day, we're going back like 25 years. We would be in the audition room or the loft or the foyer where everybody, the greeting room, and getting ready to go for auditions. And I can remember starting in this business, looking at Dave Fennoy, going, "Can you really make it in this business? Can you really make money doing this?" And he was like, "Yes, young lady, come here." And he took me under his wing. And now, 25 years later, and I tell you, I love voice acting. I've done a lot of different things with my voice throughout the 40 years I've been behind a microphone and in front of a camera. But voice acting is such a wonderful, beautiful craft with some of the most beautiful people, like a Dave Fennoy, in the business. I think it's very different than physical acting. But it's just such a marvelous craft. And I have enjoyed it. I come from a news background in New York City on Eyewitness News and WNBC and Inside Edition and New Jersey Network News, and then moved to doing talk shows, Attitudes on Lifetime Television, and then I had my own talk show during the 90s. And then decided to go to Hollywood to fulfill a lifelong dream of becoming an actor. And quite frankly, it was during the strike, the writers went on strike in Hollywood, and a lot of us were like sitting around twiddling their thumbs, which turned out to be the longest strike in Hollywood history. And I everything, news and talk shows, to be an actor. I am not going to stop my dream. I'm not going back. And so I said, what can I do to keep my attitude together? And I took a course at Calvinson and Calvinson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Dave, I called 411 back in the day when that was the information service for you to get telephone numbers, to those of you who don't know. And I would call 411 and the operator would say, "Is this Rolanda, like the Rolanda?" They knew my voice. So I said, "Oh, I know I got this in the can." Well, it's not that easy. I had to learn that you have to act with your voice. I don't care how well your voice is known or how melodious the tone is and all of that stuff. If you cannot act and you can't deliver a message and you can't help your clients and casting directors, delicious characters that you develop and the rest, then it really is not voice acting. It's really about acting with your voice, a beautiful voice that people recognize. So I her, but it was taking that class at Calvinson and Calvinson that turned my life around. And it really gave me purpose. I've always had a strong voice since I was a little kid. They used to call me Frog. And today I'm the chief of frogs in the Kulapari army of frogs. And I'm like, oh, there you go.
You know, I can imagine you as a little girl and mom and dad and teachers and aunts and uncles and neighbors trying to keep you quiet unsuccessfully.
I was the social secretary.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Now, you've had such an amazing career. I always felt like I did a lot of things, but not only newscaster, had your own show, Rolanda, but you're writing novels now, romance novels, as well as you're an actor on a number of shows, and voiceover wise, some great cartoons. And you've even been on some video games, haven't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm a Lowy on League of Legends.
League of Legends, one of the biggest games in the world. You know, they have competitions with League of Legends, and players are making millions of dollars when they win. It's amazing.
I think we should get some of those millions since we're the voice.
Yeah. Well,
we're working on that. We're working on the pay.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Yeah. So let me ask you this: what do you think the secret of your success is in so many things?
Well, I think it's been a daring spirit. I won the I Dare You award when I was in high school. And it was like, I wanted to win the Theater Arts Award, but they gave me the I Dare You award. And I think it's being fearless and loving life and loving the opportunity to try new things and to test my skills and to see what I would do under these circumstances. I think I've thrown myself in the pits of challenges and really in the journey to find the things that I love, to find my purpose in life. I think I have realized that I do many different things, but it's all really one thing, just many different ways and mediums. And that is, I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories, whether I'm writing a novel or doing a motivational speech or doing my podcast or my talk show or covering investigative news reports or even the voice acting that I do. It's all storytelling. And I think that is something that connects humanity. It's also part of my Southern and African Americanisms that storytelling is so much a part of our culture.
So, it's interesting because I tell people all the time what we really are is storytellers, and everything we do as voice actors is telling a story, even when we're being part of the story as a character in a cartoon or video game. And truly that is what newscasters are doing, it's telling a story. But the techniques, how did you manage to switch the technique of being that newscaster to being a cartoon character?
Well, I think, when you were in my class tonight, you said something very important, and I'm going to stress this with the students, that believe it or not, technique will beat talent every day. If you understand the techniques of what you're doing, how to, we study a lot of Uta Hagen and Meisner techniques, and these techniques that you can always have in your hip pocket that help you ground yourself in what you're supposed to be doing. And that is basically making me believe that this is real. And with voice acting, you're making scenes and characters and situations and solutions and problems all very real, and you can't see a doggone thing. So you have to connect with people on their own imagination.
Yeah.
When I have a heartburn situation, I got to make you remember that heartburn so you really understand what the solution is. Because that's our job, is to present the solution that our clients want us to sell. See, the people on Madison Avenue in those suits can't come down there and talk to Shaniqua and Mary Jane and Becky, who shop at Ross with me. They don't trust in me to tell them in our way of speaking, our way of communicating and pulling heartstrings. Because when I call your wife Mo and say, Mo, where did you get that dashiki? She goes at the Ross. I said, which one? The one on Western or the one over there on La Brea? That's the way we talk. Yeah. We don't look at ads in magazines. We connect with people who sound like our girlfriends, our family, the people next door, the nurse we had when we were dying, whoever it is. It's something that connects with us emotionally and on a humanitarian level, I believe. And the heartstrings that everybody wants the same thing, I believe, David. We all want our babies fed, our houses warm, and our bellies full. Yeah. And I don't know what color you are when you got a horn growing out your head. If you're a human, we all relate to those things. And that's a lot what the advertisement agency does, a lot why they pull us, to be these emotions, basically.
Listen, I'm gonna jump into some of these comments here.
And I love your show, by the way.
What's that?
I love your show.
Oh, thank you. Every now and then I see you. I see you pop in there. Hey. Yeah. Well, now I got you on again. This is your second round. Let's see. Grace Noon, hello from Raleigh, North Carolina. That's your neck of the woods, isn't it?
I'm from Winston-Salem. My dad grew up in Raleigh.
Oh, okay. And you got some claps for Rolanda from Janessa A. Morgan.
Hey, Janessa.
And let's see. Hey, Dave. Hey, Rolanda. Terry Briscoe, who's with us a lot. Emily Baker says hello. Here's Facebook user. I'm from Rolanda's class. I don't know why that's. And hey, you know John Groves, right?
Of course. Hey, John.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny. Johnny is an amazing voice actor and just a great guy and a good friend. Jim Frank, question: did you ever try the sore throat? No, this one's for me. Try the sore throat tea from Aura Page. Yes, I did. I've got some, and it works. Thank you. Let's see. We got Manny figured it out. He'd been ringing in to be a guest.
Video game in him.
What's that?
I think Manny's got a lot of video game in him.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave, for confirming that believability is a crucial element in any and all performances. You rock. I think when you're working with students, and we're both working with students sometimes, and that readiness, that lack of connection with the words, what are some of your techniques for helping somebody bring themselves to the words as opposed to, I am reading these words and I'm... What?
I encourage people to see what they're talking about. If they, to really, like if you're talking about the buffet and you're talking about, oh my goodness, you got the butter on the lobster and the mac and cheese and the collard green. I want you to see everything you're talking about. And I want you to really be interested. If you don't like collard greens, but you're a pizza fanatic, replace it with pizza.
Substitute.
Yeah. Transference is what we call it. Make it real to you so that the feeling of deliciousness is authentic any way you get to it. But I think that interested is interesting. And if you create the scene around, if it's raining outside when you're talking about the Calgon bubble bath, make it delicious.
Wait a minute. I want to commit that to interesting. Interested is interesting. Now I got another quote from somebody else besides myself. Interested is interesting.
Oh, You do that so much. You have when you build those rich, delicious characters, we lean in. We want to know what he's going to do next. What is he thinking? What decision is he about to make? I mean, you're a walking story in your character alone. But that is because don't you do the research? I
Well,
mean,
you do as much. Yeah, you do as much research as you can, as much as they give you, and then you have to invent. One of the things I always talk about is, we've all heard acting is reacting. So, what is your character responding to in this particular moment in time? What is your character thinking? What's your character feeling? What's your character doing? Who's your character talking to? And what's that relationship? And play that as opposed to the words.
That's right.
The words are only important and they give detail of these things.
Right. But it's the subtext.
Yes.
Everything they're not saying, all the juicy stuff between the words.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you're only given 3 little lines to describe who the character is, cantankerous old wrestler, whatever, you have to build in why are they cantankerous?
Yes.
As a journalist, we used to ask who, what, when, where, why. I said, no, they're not 5 journalistic questions. They're 6. Who, what, when, where, why, and so the hell what? Why are we here?
Why do we care? Oh.
Why do we even care? Why did they write this scene?
Yeah.
And also, I think what is good is where did this character come from before they got here, and where are they going? Because we really only have a slice of 30 seconds in a person's life, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
If we're doing a lot of minutes. But you give me a good 30 seconds. You got to bust through the crowd, bust through the traffic, make me stop cooking dinner, stop beating the kids, stop making love to my husband, to listen to what you want me to do right now. Is it to buy medicine? Is it to get something to add to dinner? Is it to, I don't know what, but you want me to do something.
Yeah.
So that story better connect with me so quickly. And that's where we go to the heartstring. And that's where the God and the devil are in the details. And it's giving those layers to the story. Okay, I'm caught. My one line is Calgon, take me away. I'm going to make $200,000 on that one line because they're going to play the hell out of this thing. They're going to play it during Super Bowl. They're going to play it for 2 years, whatever. Okay, but your one line. How are you going to make that one line really believable? Well, you have to tap into yourself. I love bubble bath, so it's easy for me. But look, I make it even better when I add my Epsom salt, and it has rose petal smells. Ooh. And it's raining outside, and I got a big picture window, and the fireplace is going on over there. Oh, God.
And somebody on the way over.
And somebody on the way over. That's right. 2 champagne glasses. Whatever it takes for you to get there in your own reality. And being interested enough in that, giving life to that scene and that character, is what's going to make me as a listener interested.
Yeah.
Interested is interesting, so I'm going to lean in. Ooh, this person is up in that bathtub. I think I need some of that Calgon. Take me away too. Yeah. Amazon, send some Calgon.
One of the great things about you is you are a natural improviser. You, off the top of your head, you're just able to create and create and create. How can you help other people get to that, to just allow the brain to create this sentence, this feeling that you do so easily?
Find the fun in it. And when you're having fun, look, much of voice acting, I tell my students this all the time because they come from so many different walks in life, and most of them are in a transition and a reinvention phase. And I say, listen, the things that we do in this business, most adults haven't done since they were 4 years old. And making up little funny voices. I'm doing a play right now here in D.C. where I'm a physical actor this time on stage. And it's the Till Trilogy, 3 plays. And I played 9 different characters throughout this trilogy. One including a 9-year-old girl who I worked on all day today. What is so fascinating to me is how my voice acting career is helping me transform myself into all these different characters. A grandmother, Emmett Till's mother, playing a 9-year-old who was a friend of Medgar Evers. I mean, all of this stuff in the Till trilogy. And my voice acting is helping me get there. I think that it's the fun. Like, here's where my 9-year-old comes from. Let me give you an example of how I'm building this character. The story takes place, it's the Till trilogy. It takes place down in Mississippi. And I'm thinking P Valley. I love P Valley. I am a Katori Hall freak, okay? Just, I want to dance on the pole. That's how much I love P Valley. I mean, my big fat old ass wants to get on a freaking pole. That's how much I love it. But I love the theme song. The little girl who sings, down in the valley where the girls get naked. Dun, 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 shake it, 1, 2, break it. 3, 4, break it. And I'm like, that's my little girl. It's the attitude that she has. And 9-year-olds are always, especially little 9-year-olds who hang out by strip bars, they're always like moving. And she's eating 2 Baby Ruth bars, so she's got the sugar thing going. And she's not. And her job is to stay here and get my daddy because he's at the bar all night. That's my job. What's her pride? She's pride in being able to talk to adults because she's an adult to herself. She's 9 years old, but her job is to go get her dad out the bar. What is that storyline about?
Yeah.
And the more I build her, the more reality she has. I'm 63 years old. What am I doing playing a 9-year-old? The only way I had confidence to do that is because of my voice acting, where nobody cares what you look like. This is a job I do in my pajamas and no lashes. I can have a whole I can play a unicorn with a horn growing out of my head. You know, I can play a young, sexy girl at 30. You know, which I'm not going to be able to pull that off. Well, I can get down to about 49. But it's the imagination and the freedom and the permission you give yourself to be free artistically. I mean, this is a craft, and there are techniques, as you talked about, that help us reach those goals. That's why like what your coaching does, Dave, and your classes and my classes or whoever's classes you take, I think it's so important to get yourself in an improv class, an acting class, a singing class, a dancing class, anything where you can show your creativity and imagination. Everything we do in our world is imaginary. It's imaginary. I mean, how beautiful is life when you get to spend your time and you get paid to use your imagination. Wow. And if you give yourself the freedom and the joy and the fun of it, there's no telling what you can do and what you can create and how you can touch people. You know, even listen, Dave, you know how many, you go all over the world because people connect to your characters. You've made them so real, they show up to get their autograph.
You know, it's interesting, as you mentioned that and going around the world. I have a sister who's a doctor, and I would tease her, oh, you're doing the important work, I'm just having fun. And I felt that way until I started going to conventions and meeting people who were fans of my work and characters I've played and games and cartoons that I've been in, and had people tell me that this character, that character made a difference in their life. A little boy was autistic, and for a long time, it was mother came and said, well, the only thing that calms him down when he's having is your voice. And for a long time, I sent him just random emails with MP3s of me talking to him. He's moved, I guess he's gotten better, moved on. But I remember as being Lee Everett at a convention, and the girl plays Clementine, Melissa Hutchinson, and I were at the table together, and a young lady wanted to take a picture with us, and she stood there between us, and she was shaking because she had been so affected. And, you know, all the years I'd been in the business, I didn't realize the real impact that we as actors can have on people until that moment. Until that moment.
I got asked to do something that was so important. It's so ironic. I'm just following God's lead on this because when God gives you a gift, He gives you the batteries and everything to go with it. You just have to have the courage to go out and carry the ball. But I just play, like I told you, I'm doing the Emmett Till story, and I play his mother, his grandmother, all these different characters. But CNN asked me to do something very interesting. And goodness knows, CNN is someone with a news background. CNN is where, God, you can do anything to work for CNN. But the thing I got asked to do for CNN was a voice acting job. They were doing the story of a young man who was lynched back in the 1980s. And the mother, Beulah May, they didn't have any video of her or any voice of her. And so they asked me, I'm thinking like of all the people in the entire world, they chose me to bring her voice to life, to tell this story about this son being lynched. And it was a major part of this whole docuseries. But I got to tap into, Dave, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it was like her spirit embodied me. It was like she talked like this, and she was very different than me because she forgave the people that killed her son. I forgive them before I even met them. She said, now I am not that woman. I'd kick their ass and shoot them. You know me, Dave.
Yeah.
But this woman is not me. But I had to embody every grace that she had to bring her voice literally from the grave to tell this story. Skip to now. As an actor, I'm telling the Emmett Till story very much. So you never know where your voice, even when I made my off-Broadway debut, and we got great reviews. One of the reviews talked about my voice. Said that her voice is so calming and soothing, we would follow her anywhere. So your voice can be a character. There are times when my voice is working when I can't get a job physically.
I hear you. Listen, we've got some people with some questions here. Jen Seelix, which VO role do you believe gave you the greatest growth opportunity as an actor or in vocal skills?
For me, I think really Alawi on League of Legends, because I had to fight and be a warrior. So you had to learn all the fighting skills and
do those efforts,
the explosives and all of those things. But also I had to speak in a West African accent, and I was very proud to be a strong, womanly creature in the gaming industry, which at that time was really male-dominated.
Let me ask you this now: that West African accent. Did you have one when you got hired, or did you work with a dialogue?
I had one. I dated an African guy. I figured once you go black, go black. Dated a dude from Cameroon. No, but it's like,
wait, I got another question here from Jim Frank. Rolanda, what was the craziest thing that happened to you on live or behind the scenes TV?
Oh, for TV? Oh, what is the craziest thing? The craziest thing that happened to me? Well, we had a baby born on my set when I was doing my talk show. All I remember saying is, I know nothing about birth and no baby. But they named the baby Rolanda. That was exciting. Let's see. The craziest things that happened. Oh my God, when James Brown proposed to me live on television.
How?
Yeah, he said, hey, baby. No, when we're doing this show, we were doing Gossip Fridays, and he calls in the middle of the show.
Oh, he wasn't there. He just called.
He just called. And my executive producer is like, Rolanda, you have a phone call. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a show. Are you kidding me? And he goes, it's James Brown. And I said, well, what does he want? He wants to talk to you, and he wants to do it live on television. Oh. James Brown, who created, he was the top PR person in the world when it came to PR stuff. Mm-hmm. And he popped the question live in front of all the gossip columnists, and it made New York Times, it made Time Magazine, Newsweek. It was the craziest thing in the world. But you know what? He did it as a lovely publicity stunt because I was ready to end my show and I was ready to move to Hollywood and do new things. And he said, "Baby, they gonna know you in Hollywood." He tuned in. He said, "Now look, Rolanda, I know we living in America and everything, but will you marry me, honey?" The crowd went nuts. The journalists, gossip people on the stage stood up. Back then, we didn't have phones just like we do now. They were trying to run off to get the story in. It was everywhere.
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium.
Well, I got a question. So, how long were y'all married?
Oh, listen, it was a publicity stunt, but you know something? I will say this: that he's the godfather of soul, but he was the godfather of my business. You know, James Brown owned every single thing that he did.
Yeah.
And he inspired me to own half of my show and to also take ownership on the things, the creative things that we do. You know, maybe us voice actors need to write an animation, or we need to own the music that we put in there, or whatever. But he was a big proponent of owning your own art.
Well, you know, I think a lot of that is happening now. As the landscape of television and movies when I was growing up, you just didn't see many of us. I remember when I was a kid, if somebody black was going to be on a TV show or something, my parents were making phone calls to their friends. You know someone's
on TV.
Yeah, you know.
Black on TV.
And we're in a world now where I'm not saying things are as good as they should be, but there's a whole lot more opportunity, and we can look at the Tyler Perrys of the world, whether you like what they create or not. You have to respect that they have created the vehicle, the place, the opportunity for a lot of minorities to work, and not just minorities. The fact that he has a studio there is just amazing.
Larger than any studio in Hollywood.
Yeah, and which is one of the reasons Atlanta is now Hollywood of the South, and truly owes him a debt of gratitude, I think.
Oh, no question. I'm sure he's changed the economic base of the city. You know, but let's just take a mention there also. You know, I think that we have never, I know in my 25 years as a voice actor, have never heard more black women on the air in life. I don't know if that's the BLM movement, or because people need empathy and love that black women can give because of the COVID situation. I don't know what the deal is, but I am hearing more textured voices, not just black women, which I hear mostly, but also my friends from India. I'm hearing Indian voices. I'm hearing more Latino voices, Latinx voices. Texture and diversity is being embraced also in the voice industry. I can tell the difference between a gay person and a transgender talking. But I'm like, wow, RuPaul is doing a commercial, you know. But I'm just saying that the diversity has taken, you know, I'm telling you, it's amazing, the textures and the levels of different varieties and diversities and voices today. And you can see people.
Yeah, absolutely. And sadly, I think one of the reasons for the madness in America now and the belief in so many things that just aren't true amongst our Republican friends these days is because they're afraid of the diversity. For whatever reason, it makes them uncomfortable. And frankly, all I have to say is you got to get over it.
Hey, listen. Now you see how we felt.
Yeah.
All 400 years.
There. Let's see. One of your students who piped in here, Manny Cabo again. Cabo. You see, that's awesome, Dave. I leave happy birthday songs randomly for my supporters, and it's so damn gratifying that you're so right. We have the power to make people laugh and smile, and I'll be damned if I don't use my talent for that. Yeah, love this. I like a comment that you mentioned before, and I talked about a little bit with your students, is that childlike joy of pretending, of being. You know, we are professionals and we work hard and we got to study hard to, you know, learn the techniques, but you can't let go of that fun. How do you keep it fun? I'm talking about work now. I'm not talking about your relationships.
No, no. Well, that would be a very short conversation. In fact, there would be no conversation with that. But anyway, you know, I am a strong believer that there's a mindset that you need to have to do this. And you know, we get so many people who talk about, oh, rejection and my attitude is getting bad and can I ever make it and I have the imposter and all the next. Don't focus on that stuff. Look, our friend Joe Cipriano talks about he does 100 auditions before he books a gig. Now, of course, when he books a gig, it's like a freaking major network gig. But still, he's just like everybody else going through the auditions. It's what you're telling yourself in the meantime. Because let's face it, the job is 1 hour. If you're lucky, maybe 4 hours. And you get paid and that's it. And then you're on to the next.
I had one today that was 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then you're right back at auditioning again. So auditioning is the job. Booking the job is the cherry on the sundae for all of your hard work and dedication and commitment. The only people who don't make it in the business are the people who give up.
Yeah.
And this is what you have to tell yourself in the meantime. I got another audition. Here's another opportunity to create an amazingly divine voice. Here's another opportunity to impress another group of casting directors and make my agent proud and send me out on some more stuff. Here's another opportunity for people to be in a room talking about me, because I know my stuff is good. If they ask me to do the audition, I already know I'm good enough to do the job.
Yeah.
So let me just go in here and relax and have fun with it. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 takes. They're going to be all so different. I'm going to be able to show you my range. I'm going to impress you so much in that audition for that one little role that you're going to bring me back for everything. That's the way you look at it.
Yeah.
That every opportunity is a chance for you to grow as an artist, for you to explore and discover new sides about you didn't even know, and for you to be able to be the conversation in the room and to get people talking about you and looking at your work and respecting you. Getting those auditions in on time and early if you can. Being somebody who stands out. You know, you got to be somebody like Dave. People hire you because they love you. And you're great at what you do. You don't even have to have a, you know, like you don't even, I mean, not that you don't have to have a reel, but they're not listening to your freaking reel at this point in life because you built those relationships. And you have a track record in this business that's phenomenally exquisite. So you've done the work and we continue to do it. So yeah, building that basic good foundation to show people you're serious. I ask my students all the time, I say, is this an interest or a commitment? And they show up as committed people.
Yeah.
So stuff's going to happen for them all the time.
I think hard work and understanding the technique will take you farther than just talent.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
and you know, Dave, we have a lot of people, and I get, you know, I got to tell you, some of my little young people who come in there, I got to be really clear, because I don't take a lot of people. I don't take a dozen students, and they're the real serious people. But I have a lot of people who come into the business and don't want to learn the technique. They just want to get in there and start reading scripts. And they get very frustrated when when someone is trying to teach them the basics of acting. I am a strong believer. Now, somebody will just throw you on out there and let you go on out there and try to get which way going out there all willy-nilly, as they say. But if you really understand basic acting techniques, Uta Hagen, Meisner, whoever you study, get some tried and true basic foundation to build your career on. We're just not in there making up funny voices for fun. We're making money. We're paying mortgages and buying cars and jewelry and all that stuff that people do. House sitting, babysitting, whatever you put your money toward.
Yeah.
This can be that side gig, if not the full gig.
Well, you know, the only people I think that do this as a side gig are actors who already have an established career. I know for me, I came to LA to do voiceover work. Every now and then I get a side gig being in a TV show or doing a movie. But this is my work. Hey, I think you know this person, Everett Oliver. He says, I am such a huge fan of Ms. Watts, as I used to watch her on WABC TV Channel 7 in New York, and I used to watch her talk show in the 90s. I also believe she attended Spelman College, as I'm a graduate of Clark Atlanta University. I'm going to reach out to her and bring on as a guest for one of my workouts. Dave, I'll be calling you soon. Smile.
Listen, anybody who goes that far, look, we go back like a spinal cord. So yes.
Oh boy, let's see. Terry Briscoe, do you both think that it requires more acting chops to do on or off camera acting? Oh, good question. Do you think you got to be a better actor on camera, or
you got to have your chops together? Any kind of acting you're doing.
I
do stage, film, television, and it's all very demanding. Different sets of muscles and different things.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a lot of podcast dramas today, audio dramas today. Instead of audio books where a narrator reads the whole book, now people like James Patterson and Grisham, who I've done audio projects for, are bringing in actors to play the different roles, and then somebody else to play the narration. They're changing the whole game. COVID changed. Audiobooks are blowing up.
Those right now are the only audiobooks I'm willing to do where I'm playing a character in them. I don't want to do the narrator, play all the characters. I'm done with that. But let's talk about that. The different skills. I think it's all acting. I think the same rules apply. What I talk about with my students when we're talking about voice acting for video games is, well, we got words on a page and a microphone, and we have to replace the things that the actor on stage and on camera has. So we have to react like that character would react to somebody else on stage or on camera that we don't have. We have to be able to read well enough that it doesn't sound like we're reading. We have to create the movement, the blocking in our head, because our bodies inform our voices. Now, does that mean you can go straight from voiceover on mic and that's all you've been doing to on camera? I don't think so, because then you have to learn, well, how do I move on stage? What do you mean, stage left, stage right? I don't know. What do you, what do you mean hit my mark and say my line? So there are things that you have to learn, but I really think they're actually the same thing. If you give a performance that is based on your reaction, or not yours, but the character's reaction, the character's thought, feeling, movement, and relationship, you're going to have that sound of an actor you might see on stage or an actor you might see in a film. And that's what we're going for. And I think somebody wants to say hello.
Hey, y'all, everybody stop. We just got to have a love moment. Hey, Mo.
Hey, Mama.
I miss you, baby.
I miss you more. You know what? Hey.
Hey, girl.
Looking good.
Look, when we were in LA, it was Mo, Ro, and Dave. That's when we were.
Looking good. I'm digging that hair, Mama. We gotta call. We gotta.
Girl, I just taught my class, and Dave was in it. Look, I got been on stage all day doing the play. So, honey, we're in work mode.
You know what? We gotta catch up.
Grandma, you go on Instagram.
We gotta. I'm not on social media, but you know what? I want to interrupt you. What's going on? Love you, miss you. I'm gonna call you though, okay? Got stuff to call.
Yes,
catch up
absolutely.
On.
And listen, I'm gonna be at Caroline's on Broadway September 1st to the 4th.
Are you
so I
serious?
Need everybody to get off tickets now. Lunell and I gonna.
Oh, you
Lunell.
Me and Lunell, women of a certain age.
Okay, girl.
September 1st to the 4th. Lunell and I at Caroline's on Broadway in New York City. Is that gonna be crazy?
Well, you know what? I may have to. Tiffany's here, but listen. Hey, love you, miss
love
you.
Love you, guys.
Looking good.
Listen, the Fennoys were one of my, when I first started doing stand-up comedy, they were my first supporters. They would come to every show, no matter what I talked about, they were there. And even if I talked about the same thing again and again, they were there.
Well, we had to see that first great 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we. Hey, listen, I don't come in much, but I want to say hello.
I love
I'm
you,
gonna call
honey.
you. Look, we may be
I've
in New
been
York
talking about you all night.
All right, baby. Mwah, love you.
That's
Bye.
it. Mo
All right.
only pops in for the serious friends.
Right.
And I was
Well, that's
surprised.
all
I
I
was
can
surprised she hadn't popped in already. I think she was taking a nap.
Right. Oh
There-
God, so good to see you guys. But
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
see.
But
I'm
you
a,
know what you were talking about earlier about in terms of are the crafts different? I think that the method and what we talked about earlier, technology, the techniques rather, and technology now, because we're acting on everything. Whether I'm doing film or television or stage or podcast dramas, book dramas, whatever, the thing is still the same in terms of character development. It may be just a so slight difference of muscles because I have to walk in the room with big butt like Kim Kardashian and big boobs and sexy like Mae West, and they can't even see me. How do I put my hands on my hips and raise my eyebrow? So
put
they
your
would
hands
hear
on
it?
your hips and raise your eyebrows.
Or how do I point to somebody like this? Yeah, I don't know about you, Dave, and I do know about you. You're in that whisper room, or I'm in my walk-in closet. We're acting our cans off, using our arms. And, I remember I used to go, on the next Judge Joe. And, I had this thing with my body because it embodies in our voice, literally. But it's all still believing and see. When you believe it, I believe it. When you see it, I'll see it. So that's the work that we as actors have to do, is building the scene, asking those questions. Look up today, if you are actors right now, you've got some auditions coming up. Go online and look up Uta Hagen, Utahagan. Uta Hagen is famous for her 9 questions. And these are questions that you should ask yourself as you're building a scene, building characters. This is a good base for what we call your techniques of acting. And they ask the questions that we were talking about earlier. Where are you going? Why are you here? What is the weather? What's the relationship you have with the person you're talking? Who are you talking to? That's what I ask my students a lot. Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
See that person. Even when I was doing my talk show, Dave, I used to tear out, back then we had magazines. I would tear out a picture of somebody because being a talk show, I couldn't be the reporter anymore. I had to be Rolanda. And I remember people would call, my producers would say, get the news reporter off the stage. We want Rolanda. And I said, well, Rolanda's got this crazy voice. I'm a little wacky. And I have a strange laugh and the Southern accent. They were like, that's what we want. And that is the hardest thing to do, is to just be yourself. So I would just pin up a picture of somebody. Who am I talking to? I have a mother raising her kid. She just put the kid to bed. She's sitting there watching my show. So that gave me a different tone and a different attitude because I was talking one-on-one. And that's what a lot that we do, as opposed to broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talking to the person across the table from you.
Yeah.
And that's hard stuff to do.
Absolutely. Got a couple more comments, questions. Linda Baker, you are a total inspiration, Rolanda. Your attitude and enthusiasm are everything. That is how we do it. Yeah.
Yes. I just love what I do. I mean, we love what we do.
Janessa Morgan, a word. Woo! Thank you so much, Miss Rolanda. And let's see, Tisha Marie. In this digital age, is it best if an agent finds you or vice versa? Oh, please. I'm going to let you handle that.
What's your answer on that?
Don't be sitting in that coffee shop all made up, dressed up, makeup perfect, hoping somebody's going to notice you. You got to go out there and hunt that agent down. Put yourself in front of them with your demo tape, your whatever it is that you are selling yourself with. Get in front of them. Find people that may be represented by that person, that believe in you, that can carry your message to them. Hey, you need to take a look at this person. Yeah, no, don't. Agents these days are actually looking for ways not to have to check you out. There's so many people knocking on the doors. They're not just out there finding people randomly, despite the fact that there are people on social media that end up with an agent. But that's the small group of people. Most people with agents, they set out to get that agent. They work to get that agent. So, work to get that agent? I'm sorry, I just had to jump in on that one.
Yeah, well, you know, but that's such a tricky one, and it's a tough answer. And guess what, people? There is no yellow brick road. There is no one path to take. Every single voice actor, just like voices are snowflakes, and there's no two alike. There's no two journeys alike. Yeah. But I will say this: I have seen tremendous success from my students who have moved on, and with using the confidence and the momentum from the class, have gone on and joined voiceover challenges. Some of them have been on Clubhouse. Some of them have been just because we had a guest in my class, and they followed up with the guest in the class who happened to be an agent, and they built a relationship. I'm not a big proponent of the word networking. It sounds like a bunch of old men in gray suits drinking scotch, and I don't like that. I like the word relationships, building relationships with people. Maybe that's in a class, and you have people who guest speakers who come in and you follow up. Clubhouse has been tremendously successful for so many people. And one of my students just did a VO challenge and got an agent from her performance in the VO challenge. Had another student that did a VO challenge and went to a VO showcase situation. She wrote on her Facebook and all of her social media, I didn't win, but I was nominated. And I was there. And that gives you the momentum. You know, when you're happy, the money will come. When you are doing what you love, people will clamor to see you and will not take their eyes off of you. So just like we said from the beginning, Dave, interested is interesting. If you take a major interest in what you're doing, and listen, everything we do in business, and you're starting a new business if you're in voice acting, is done in social media. I've got students who will do these fun VO challenges on TikTok, which is a huge VO community on your TikTok. Get out there and get busy. No, nobody's going to ring your doorbell and bring you a voice acting career. You have got to get your butt up and believe that, as my mama used to say, Dave, God believes in matching grants. You do your 50%, he'll do his. But I think that if you, like I'm on Clubhouse and I have a club called The Joys of Voice Acting. And it's really about targeting people so they don't give up, that they keep the mindset together, that they meet great people like you, Dave, and who give them encouragement and stuff. But it's also, you know, hammering in the fact that education is so important. Technique will beat talent every day. And really knowing how to market yourself as a voice actor. Not saying you fake it till you make it, because I don't believe in that at all. And this is not a business you can really do that in successfully, I don't think.
No, because you have to keep showing up time after time after time after time.
Consistently. You and I are known in this industry because of how we've shown up over all these years.
Yeah.
Consistently.
I've got something here. I'm gonna switch. Switch screens here, boy. Just LC. This is a long message here. LC brought us. Whoa, Miss Rolonda Watts. So loved your show. Enjoyed with my teen son, 12 years old ago, watching your Curious George and Funny Leg videos. And HU grad like Dave, yes, own and create your own authenticity, content, hint, Dave, hint. Yes, I tell people, yes, I am a studied actor, like, take it seriously. Please come to Atlanta with Lunel, oh, soon. I saw her in Philly, where I'm from, years ago, and my mom, and she was awesome and teased and joked with us like another fun auntie who likes a good cocktail. Tyler Perry moved to the city of Atlanta a few years ago. My place is way smaller. I think just about everybody's place is way smaller. And although I read that one, that was a lot of words. That was a lot of words.
Well, listen, that was a lot of love. I'm going to take all that love.
Yeah, and that.
Spelman grad, Atlanta is always like a home to me. And Lunel and I would have a ball in Atlanta. Oh. You let this show go well at Caroline's. Oh, we gonna come to someplace near y'all.
Oh yeah, do it. Atlanta and a lot of other towns. Molly Rock, I live for Rolanda's Clubhouse. Hey, there you go. You got a fan here. So great to see her here with you tonight, Dave. Thank you both. Yeah, well, you're very welcome. And one very short. Hey, Rolanda.
Wait a minute. Kelly is my superstar. Kelly is the one who got the agent and did the VO showcases and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you, I brag about Kelly all the time because when she went in there and she competed in that showcase, she did everything we talked about in terms of techniques to win in voice acting. And when she left the microphone, the judges sat up and looked and said, who was that? Who was that? She stood out above the crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that's part of your job too, is put yourself in a position with your education and your exposure where you know what you're talking about. You know the vocabulary. You know what's expected of you to be an industry-wide respected person.
Yeah.
You got your demo reel not done by Who Shot Johnny on the corner. You got your you did it industry standard. Be industry standard and be somebody who stands out in the crowd. The pendulum is not going to always be here, diversity people.
Yeah,
so jump in here, be the best, grab what you can now, because the pendulum, is going to swing.
Well, they're trying to make it swing. That's for doggone sure. Just because she had another comment, if you're looking to venture into voice acting or sharpen your skills, Rolanda's voice acting masterclass is amazing. Now, you advertising on my show.
Students are just saying that they got success for after the experience. Go to Rolonda.com. ROLNDA.
And let's see, J. Horace Black, powerful, encouraging, positive energy. You're an inspiration, Rolanda. You could speak or talk some about your master class. What may separate you from others, etc. I'll tell you what separates Rolanda from others and their master class is Rolanda. But now I'll let you take it in.
Well, I think that's probably true. I mean, here's the thing. When you find a class, y'all, find somebody you resonate with. Because, this is not an easy journey. And anybody who tells you it's going to be easy and you're going to book right out of, that's a lot of hogwash. You really have to put in the work. But listen, we are all proof of the truth that if you do that, it can work. Kelly just showed up. We've been in the business 25 years before you were popular being black in this business. So, and everything is right at your fingertips. There's no excuse not to make moves in the business if you really apply yourself. I sound like a teacher now. You just apply yourself. But
that's what my teachers told me when I was in school. He's so smart, but he just doesn't apply himself.
I always say that it's not the knowledge, it's the application of the knowledge. And what we do in a 6 week of intensive story, we take 6 weeks of intensive exploration into you finding out what makes your voice so special. Everybody has a special sauce. What is that makes the casting directors go, oh my God, we got to get Dave Fennoy for this. This is perfect for him. So you are understanding your voice and what you have in your wheelhouse. Also understanding what the industry wants. What do casting directors want? What do the clients want? Being able to understand the vocabulary. You get in a session, let's say you get lucky and you get a job and you get in a session, you have no idea what the director is telling you to do or the producer. The vocabulary.
Yeah, just throw it away.
And just throw it away.
Give me an ABC on that.
That's right, exactly. And they're like, and you freak out. How to compose yourself as an artist before the microphone. How to breathe. How to take care of your body and your voice. All of these little things that you don't even think about. How to create the best soundproof area, even if all you have is a closet.
Yeah.
All of these things we deep dive and I bring great people in like Dave Fennoy. My next guest is going to be Dawn Lewis, who just landed the Star Trek captain role, and it has been a long time voice artist. Long before, Dawn was doing voice acting before I even knew what voice acting was. And we get confused about the same voice a lot. So whenever somebody says, was that you? I say, no, it's probably Dawn Lewis. But she is tremendous. And so we just really take a deep dive, 6 weeks, 2 hours a week. And I want you to be ready to go make your demo reel next. And also, I want you to continue your education, folks. Just don't take one class. I want you to go take my class and then go take Dave's class. and then go take another French class, and then go take an improv class, and take a singing class, and take a an acting class. This is something that is lifelong learning. You just don't do it and get it. It's constant practice, like you do with any instrument.
Got another question here, right quick. Jim Frank, what are these VO showcases, and how does one get involved?
A lot of times you can find out about the VO showcases by on Clubhouse. I think that's where a lot of them are on Clubhouse. You've got Rick Party, he comes from promos and more like announcing for ESPN. He's a radio guy.
Yeah.
He's got the largest voiceover club. It's called Voiceover. Get on there. He's doing practice every day. You've got folks like Danny Burnside. There was one big showcase a couple of years ago during COVID that we just did it for fun. And there were a few of us who were judges, and somebody in Australia said, let's do this. What started out as a little simple clubhouse fun thing turned into an international showcase, and the winner got an agent. I mean, you just have to be in it to win it. And the conversations are on Clubhouse and in social media. Join everything you can in voiceover and social media. That's where the news is being dropped. Getting classes, start hobnobbing, building relationships. Because Dave, when you say that our industry in voice acting, which I think is very much more malleable than physical acting, but we share a lot. We help a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's one of the best things about the voiceover community is it is a community, and people aren't hiding stuff from you. People are trying to help one another. Got a couple more comments in. I'm going to let you go. Facebook user, which is somebody from your class. What's give me an ABC? Just like we said, 3 takes? Exactly.
And you'll hear that a lot.
And sometimes give me an ABC or give me an AB. Or this is particularly stressful. Just give me an A.
You're right.
And
I can explain what that means. 3 different takes.
Yeah, there you go. In a row. And last comment here, Venus Crute. Hey, Miss Rolanda, have always loved you. Gonna check out your clubhouse. Hope I can get you on my show one day. The R&B Bistro, up close and personal. And Venus is a voice-over actress that is doing well.
Good. Venus, just spell my name Rolonda, and I'll come to your show.
Yeah, and Venus, I misspelled her name one time, and I got a lecture. So make sure you don't put that A after L.
It's only been on television for 40 years. For 4 years, every single day.
Well, like I always say, if I could spell, I'd rule the world. Anyway, hey, listen.
Dave, you put a spell on people, and you still rule the world.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Listen, Rolanda, we are actually even overtime. 7:03. I always promise people we'll get you out of here by 7. But you are just so amazing. Renaissance woman, force of nature, just filled with love and energy and information. Love you madly. Thank you so much for being available again. I know this is an audience that got a lot of inspiration from you.
I hope so. That's what we're here to do. Listen, you live long enough. What I'm going to do? Take all of this knowledge with me, all this experience. I'm going to save you time. Listen, I tell people, Dave, I said, be careful. You spend 5 minutes with me, I'm going to make you believe in yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Listen, we're at a time in our life, it's time to give back, and we just want to lift as we rise.
Absolutely. Love you. And let me know when you're back in town and we're coming out to the East Coast. We'll let you know.
Absolutely. And y'all listen, tune in this fall. You're going to be hearing about a new Cartoon Network and HBO Max series called The Invincible Fight Girl. And I finally got a series regular, and that's coming out. And then also, please watch Partners in Rhyme on All Black, the sitcom I do with MC Light. And get Destiny Lingers, which is now out in audio book, which you can get on Audible.
Well, if you're one thing, you're a salesman.
That's right. And don't forget Caroline's on Broadway. September 1st through 4th, me and Lunell.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Rolonda Watts, good friend and good inspiration. Thanking her. Thank you for all the great comments and hellos and applause for her. She deserves that and even more. By the way, if you want to watch this again, it will be on my YouTube channel. Dave Fennoy voiceover training in just a few minutes, along with all the other Ask Dave Fennoy's Anything. Interested in voiceover lessons with me? You can get your coaching. Just visit davefennoy.com. Click on the Study VO tab, and we'll get it together. Just want to say once again, thank you for joining us. And in the meantime and in between time, book something.